What's up, guys? Syntac. Okay, so we've gotten a lot of requests over the last day or so, talking about TOA, and people have been seeing my Hathor floors, but I've also gotten some queries. How do you handle floors that aren't Hathor? Like the Akroma floor. Like, obviously I can't Hathor the Akromas, right? Because they are CCable. To me, this floor is really, really easy. In fact, the hardest thing about this floor is the trash. But this floor in itself is what I like to call a stat stick or a gear check floor. In dungeon crawlers, game developers, they often put levels in that are more designed to make sure you've put in the amount of time that you should have put in prior to attempting harder content. And that's really what this floor is a stat check. And it's making sure that you have the appropriate stats to continue on into TOA. And what that means, and basically the right allocation of stats. And what that means is that you're focusing on HP and defense as a survival stat, right? You've got the necessary despair. Well, despair doesn't help on this floor because the Akromas are immune to everything. They're basically, what they want to know is that do you have enough stats to outpace the amount of damage that the Akromas can output, right? And that's all that means. So the argument that you need really amazing units here doesn't fly. But the argument that, anybody can do this with great runes does fly. Yeah, that's the whole point of this floor, is that you need good runes. You need the right stats. Because if you don't have the right stats, then you can't beat this floor. So yeah, if someone says, you're beating this with poor units, but you're doing it with good runes, that's the whole purpose of this floor. You should not be able to beat this floor with really good units and bad runes. You need to have the necessary stats, because units don't matter against Akromas. Akromas offset, they're basically counter everything, right? Why? Because you can't do anything to them. You can't taunt them, you can't. So the only thing you can do against these Akromas, right, is the Veramos, or bring a dark. They will autofocus dark element first, right? So you've got a couple of options. To me, this is the safest. In fact, the hardest thing about this floor is the trash, because I don't have something like a Beretta which allows me to clear the trash really easily. I need to bring enough heals, right, in order to keep Veramos alive while he's being focused by two Akromas. I also need to bring a defense buff that I can constantly keep up, right? So it reduces, because those Akromas hit hard. I mean, they hit 7 or 8k a pop. I've tried a few different variations. I just want to stress right now, this isn't entirely true in terms of free to play. These are free to play units, and I want to really kind of make sure you guys understand that the units don't necessarily matter as much. So these are all units that if you're running TOA, you should have these units at this point. And again, I would run Beretta, but I need to have 2 heals because I don't have. If you have a Chasoon, right, you might be wondering, why don't I have a Chasen? Because not every free-to-play has a Chasen, I guess. We're gonna do this with the bare minimum. Yes, a Chasen is all you need in terms of heals if you have one. A Chasoon or a Chasen or whatever you guys call that thing. It is more than enough as a single healer to keep Veramos alive while it's being focused by 2 Akromas, right? But if you don't have one, you can run this comp. Just know you're going to struggle a little bit more getting the trash down, right? But once you get there, you should have enough heals between Amun and Colleen with Mav's constant reset, right? Especially if Amun just needs to proc every several turns in order to keep your Veramos topped off. Once you get one of the Akromas down, you can basically auto the other one down all the way, and that's all it takes. Okay? And if we get this done, then I will go back through and show you guys kind of what stats I'm using on these. And that's a big point. You want to shoot for these stats as baselines. These are not, these are not like god tier runes or whatever. In fact, these units I have not used in a long time. Most of these, the Shannon, the Amun, and the none of these I use anymore aside from Colleen, right? I use Colleen in R5, and your R5 build can work just fine. I didn't alter anything on Colleen for this floor any different than my R5 build, right? The Veramos I don't use anymore. I only use Veramos for what do I only use Veramos for? I only use Veramos for TOA hard. Actually, I pretty much only use Veramos for this floor. And then maybe like the 100 boss floors, the 100 floor on the boss. I definitely don't use Amun anymore. But I've gotten some slack for recommending Amun on the free to play account. I have this separate account that we're doing a video series where I've started fresh, and I highly recommend getting an Amun. But I shouldn't be getting slack for using Amon, because Amon's actually an amazing unit. And he, a lot of people don't realize this is what us veterans used to do way back in the day when prior to even Veramos being released. This is how we used to clear TOA. Now I'm doing hard, still using an Amon, and I think it's a unit that's gotten overshadowed as time's gone by, but it's still an incredible unit. The taunt alone, if you don't have something like a Basalt, that taunt is bar none. That taunt is really helpful. I've used the Amon to clear the TOI hard Sierra floor multiple times, along with Mav, obviously. Double taunt, because you can't miss a single taunt on doing that. There's no room for error doing that floor. The one downside, again, is not using Beretta on this floor. We want to bring the Veramos. Why? Because I need a dark unit, and this is like the easiest to obtain stat stick dark unit. Veramos has really good base stats for this floor. The other option you have, but it's less stable, is to bring 2 dark units, right? That you can heal up both times, because the Akromas will split as long as you can full heal them every turn. And the reason why is as soon as one of them stays below full health, both Akromas will target him then and work him down until he's dead. So while that is an option, like say you have a Basalt and a Veramos, right? Again, we're going to do this with the bare minimum, because I want to make a point that good units are not needed to beat this floor. What is needed is stats. This is a gear check, stat check type of floor, right? The one downside is working this trash down. It's just going to take forever, because we're not... I used to use Beretta almost all exclusively. Now I got a Zeros like 2 weeks ago, right? So now I've been just easy moding it with Zeros, because those dots are incredible. And you can see how long this takes without. But this is also, bottom of the barrel type units. What are these? These are all 3 stars, right? All 3 stars except for Veramos. These are all obtainable, easy to obtain 3 stars. Okay, and talking about rune sets, I don't want Veramos on Violent either. That's a big thing, A lot of people, endgamers, like to run Veramos on Violent. I don't run my Veramos on Violent because he'll proc out of that defense buff. I like Veramos on Swift anyway, regardless. PvP-wise, Violent's definitely better on a Veramos, right? There's no argument for me on that front. You can tell, you can see how tanky this I'm not taking any damage, even though I'm not even really keeping these things CC'd that much. But what it comes down to, if you're struggling on this floor, is basically keeping your, you need something dark, right, for them to focus. You don't have to use a Veramos. If you've got something even like the Dark Elemental, I think people have cheese moded this with Camulus before. Doesn't he have like a Reflect or a, he's got something that, you just need something to focus. If you got a Basalt, great. You can pair Basalt with you'll always have defense. You don't even need Mav them, because you'll always have defense buff up, right? Right? Using Basalt, because you use Basalt and Shannon, and then they can just cycle. Plus Basalt's got a heal as well. He's definitely, I would use Basalt over what I'm using now. This is by no means is this optimal. There's multiple units I would use over these units. The point is more about understanding the roles that these units serve versus being concerned with what the unit is. So Veramos is our tank, right? You just need something dark with good stats, enough to survive, and it really comes down to a simple math equation. Can the amount of damage you take be below the amount you can heal? Right? So if the Akromas are doing 7,000 every turn, and I can only heal 6,000 every turn, after 40 turns, my Veramos is going to die, right? If he's at 40k HP. Does that make sense? So basically, the equation then, it becomes, is the damage you're taking, can you heal enough of that damage every turn? Because you don't have to heal it in full. Can you heal enough of it every turn as long as you can get one of the Akromas down? So by the time you get one of the Akromas down, right? So they can still kill the Veramos after, but if say they're going to kill the Veramos, right? But it's going to take them 40 turns, but you can kill one of the Akromas in 35 turns. That's still, you win that math equation, you win this floor, and that's really how you got to think about this. In terms of heals, I wouldn't recommend Bella, and there's one reason why I wouldn't recommend Bella. you're gonna see when we're fighting this comp that the big downside is getting those when those Akromas move in between. Well, there's a couple reasons. One, you need something to kind of to keep that Zeros occupied, because you don't want to get cooldown reset, right? Bella's heal is 1 on a 4-turn cooldown, which is really high, you know, and you're gonna need 2, because you can't just. I've already tried to do this with just Bella and with just Colleen, and you need more. You can do it with just Chasen, right? I can do it Chasun. I've definitely done this with just Chasun as a heal, and then I did bring Beretta, right? But that comp, the problem with that comp is not everyone has a Chasun, and it's a lot easier, because obviously Chasun can keep Veramos up very easily. But Bella or in Colleen, you need to pair with another healer. I like Amen with Mav, because prior to killing the Akromas, you need to keep that Zeros from popping his skill that keeps you, puts everything on cooldown. And the easiest way to do that is by keeping him taunted. And if you've got Amen and Mav and they're fast, you can keep him taunted pretty much the entire time, right? While you sink some dots into him. And my Amen also pairs well with Veramos, right? Because of the HP, he's almost healing 5k a click. So hopefully this is enough heals. And if it's not, you can always rely on Violent, right, to even that distribution. Say it's like 1,000 less heals than we need every turn, but then he's proccing every 4 turns, right? And that makes up the difference regardless. And since I have both Colleen and Amen on Violent, the odds are on a long enough timeline that they'll both proc, right? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through this while I finish these guys off, and then we'll when we get to the floor, we'll worry about dealing with that. Okay. Okay guys, so we're getting down here now, working them down. One thing I want to make note of is it's really important to make sure all of your skills are off cooldown going into this final floor, especially because you need that defense buff up right away on the Veramos. So if you've noticed, I've stopped using everything a little bit ago, and now we're just kind of working these things back down, right? I'm just autoing first skilling while we get this last one down. He's not going to move anyway. We're going to get him stunned and dotted the whole time. All right, and then the big goal going into this floor now is first and foremost getting that Zeros tied up and then keeping Veramos alive as best we can, right? So I'm going to try and stun him. Yeah, we got the stun. I've done this a few times. And then, yeah, you can. The cooldown resets more for the heal, so we're not gonna pop that right away, right? We're just gonna keep working on the Zeros. As long as we can keep him taunted or whatever, we're fine. We can heal. See, we've got enough heals right now. Now let's see if this lasts. That's gonna be the key. There is, will this last? Can we, pop Mav's cooldown? The big thing really, because he doesn't take much damage, the Veramos doesn't take much damage when he's got defense buff up, is the gap that's created, you can see that there's, in terms of the attack bar between Shannon and Veramos, that gap becomes wider and wider. And that's because of the speed boost, right? And we can heal him back up here. We should be good, though. I think we can keep pace with these. We'll see, though. This is the thing, is we are going to take some shots when defense buffs down, right? So that needs to be, hopefully, Amen can proc in between there enough to keep Veramos topped off. That's really the big thing, is just making sure Veramos has enough heals until we can get one of the Akromas down, right? We are getting a lot of procs right now. I will not lie. I have done this 2 or 3 times with different comps already, and we have not been getting any sort of procs, which makes it that much harder, as you can imagine, but we seem to be getting good procs now. The other big thing is, getting this thing down prior to these Akromas really cutting in between Shannon's defense buff and Veramos moving. I've got them at the same speed. The issue is that Shannon has a very high base defense, right? That's the problem that I keep running into. Oh shit, I probably should taunt him. I gotta pay attention. There, we got the stun. Whatever, we got the stun. No big deal, guys. We seem to be able to keep up with these heals, no problem though, so far. So let's just fingers crossed. As long as we can get some damage sunk into this Akroma, see right there, he finally got in, cut in between. We'll get him healed back up, but I think we might be all right in terms of the other issue is I haven't used Amen in so long. I think he's got like 97% crit, and if you just noticed what just happened, you just saw one of those 3%ers whiff, and I wasn't paying attention, and that's what happened. I don't think it matters because we got Amen and passives. There's the proc. There's the proc, right, guys? Amen or passives. Passives are what defeat Zeros, right? Don't I talk about that in some of my arenas type stream stuff? Ooh, that hurts. Alright, we got him down. We got the shield up. Now let's get some procs. Get these things healed back up, guys. Let's get him healed. Let's get him healed. So now we're just going to work one of the Akromas down, right? Oh, Jesus. I can't believe that's twice now. That's definitely not 3%. We'd be back to full health. So if I lose this, it's because I don't. Because I don't fucking 100% crit on Amen, which is really goddamn annoying if you think about it. All right, we're back up. I think we got enough heals now. I think this is gonna be done. Which is cool. I did try a few other comps. In terms of a free to play, this is definitely the cheapest, right? This comp right here. If you're gonna complain that you don't have Veramos and you're attempting TOA hard 87, I don't even know what to say to you at that point. I guess you could do it with Beretta. You need something dark though, really, because you need something to tank, these units. And there are multiple dark units you can use that are 3 stars. We could use Basalt. That's fine. We can make anything tanky enough. I'll show you guys the stats here when we get this thing down. This is going to take a little while. Once I get this first one down, I'll probably talk through getting the first one or close, and then we'll fast forward to the other ones down. Because this floor has been known to take me a solid 30 minutes sometimes. Nowadays it doesn't, because I've got easy mode units at this point in my Summoner's War career, right? I have I have like a Hua dam, and as you can imagine, a Veramos paired with a Hua dam, or a Chaesoon, this doesn't even make this floor a challenge anymore. But this is what I actually used to do stuff like this way back in the day, right? And this really allows you to, because I want to stress that if you understand the concept of this floor as a stat stick floor, then it's really, that's what it comes down to, is being able to survive output of the Akromas, at least for X amount of time until you get one down. This is definitely more than enough. I tried to do it with just the Bella, and I tried to do it with just the Colleen, and I couldn't get the heals to match in terms of in terms of, wow, I really am salty that this Almond is not 100% crit though, because he is missing a lot. That's 3 now. He's missing a lot more than I would be comfortable with him missing in terms of critting. The Almond's kind of nice because he actually hits decently hard too. He hits a lot harder than say even Beretta does. My Beretta hits like a noodle because I've got him on accuracy and stuff like that. So Veramos would be full health right now if Almond would stop missing on these, crits, which is insane to me. To me, that's just nutty. But again, even with the missed crits, I think we have more than enough output, to be honest. With Veramos' lead, he's healing almost 5,000 a turn, and my Almond's really slow. I mean, he's like plus 20 something speed. It's just, it's enough, when coupled with Colleen's heal. Now, it's not enough without this defense buff, and that's one of those, they cut in between when I could get that back up. The issue I'm having with that is with this right here, the speed boost, because Shannon's base is higher, which is super annoying. I should probably make Shannon slower, and I think the discrepancy in ticks would be a lot smaller. Whoops. Right. But I don't feel like doing this again, and it took like 20-30 minutes, so we're just gonna get this done. So now you guys should have it, and the nice thing is, because this is TOA hard 87 this month, right, you guys could use this for virtually any other month. You can use this comp, because no matter what, it's not going to be much higher than floor 87. It'll never be in the 90s. Those are all predetermined. So this comp will work on the Akroma stage at any given point, right? As long as you shoot for the stats I'm using. They're not obscene. I just, you're stacking more defense. I think people kind of underestimate the importance of defense sometimes in TOA hard. It's really what allows you to kind of survive a lot. I don't even think I need defense buff, to be honest, guys. I might be able to drop the Shannon, to be honest, and run Beretta. This is not the end-all be-all. I just want to stress, I cannot stress this enough, that this is not an end-all be-all comp. I know you guys are going to be like, oh, I use this, because every time I do one of these videos, I get so many comments. I use this. I use this. That's fine. Great. I'm showing you bare minimum. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to show you the best. I'm trying to show you the bare minimum. You can mix and match units as you please. I have no doubt there are multiple ways to clear this. I don't even use this comp anymore. I cannot stress that enough. You don't need to post in the comments. By all means, you guys can post what you use. Go ahead. Obviously don't sit there and post a bunch of nat 5s. I like hearing that. But if someone says, oh, doing this is faster, well, no shit. This is as slow as it gets. I'm not going to lie. You're not going to hear an argument from me. This is as slow as it gets. This is, we're using 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, we're using 2 2-stars, right? And 2 3-stars and 1 5-star. This isn't going to get any slower. It will get faster using other units. The concept of this floor is that it is a stat-based floor. It is just a gear check and nothing more. You don't need crazy units. In fact, I use a dot comp to clear the vast majority of the other floors. And that I'm going to do another video showing kind of how I use a dot comp in conjunction with another comp, right? Cool. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish this. We've got this guy down. We're going to go ahead and fast forward, get this done, and I'll show you the stats then at the end, all right? Cool.
walls, we let the monsters in, and now we're running down the halls. No, we can't let them win. There's an evil inside that is lurking way down below, and if I can't hold to my breath, then I'm bound to become hollow. Can you say that I disappeared? Can you say that I wasn't there for you when you went into hiding on the front steps of your porch? And I reflected on the memories, but I put out that torch. Hey! But I put out that torch. But I put out that torch. So now can you tell me where you want to be in time? There's a million different places and a million.
Alright guys, so while it did take a long fucking time, we got it done. Now, real quick, let's go over the runes so you guys can see the stats to shoot for, and assuming I can remember. So this is my R5 build for Colleen, nothing special. I don't even have high, defense on her here. Just speed, HP. What else did I use? I gotta remember what I used too, to be honest with you guys, because I just totally gonna space that. Okay, Colleen, Shannon, right? Shannon's got Shannon's got crap. People talk about Shannon's base a lot, but she's a pretty stellar unit because of that defense buff. It's on a 4-turn cooldown, which means there's only one paired with a Mav, it's always off cool. You always have defense buff then. And she's what I would use over Emma, and I would use her over everything but Olivia. Even Basalt, because there's a gap that Basalt's got a proc to close that gap. And that matters. That matters a lot, having that defense buff up. Okay, then we did Mav, right? Got some 5s, 5 stars, nothing special, guys. Plus 65. He's got some HP. Accuracy is the big thing on my Mav because I don't like him missing stuff, right? I gotta remember what else we used. Oh, Almond. Almond's got some HP though, and he's only got 97 crit. He's got 26. I'm using Revenge just because that's what I had laying around. Okay, but he doesn't actually proc his passive on Revenge, so you don't need to Violent whatever. Shoot for stats over offset on him. It matters. Energy, that's probably the best because right, he gets more HP, he heals more, right? I could, if I wanted to, I could make this thing like 40k HP. I could make this thing really heal. In which he would be even more useful in TOA. I don't bother because I don't use him that much anymore. Maybe on the free to play though. Like I said, he's one of my favorite units all time. To me, he's a game changer. That's what I'm rocking. Crit. You want to get 100 crit. Obviously, I wasn't close to that. And then Veramos, right? Is that all of the units that I used? That's 5, right? Can I count? Colleen, Mav, Almond, Shannon, Veramos. That's 5. Right, we're good. Okay, so if you'll notice, okay, so I'm actually rocking double defense, but you can run HP defense. It doesn't matter. Just, toy with it if you have to. And he's on Swift. Toy with it if you have to in order to get, the stat right. So you can, basically that your heals are greater than the damage incoming. If you got to tweak it a little bit, do it. That's fine. And the big thing with this is make sure your Veramos is faster than Shannon. I think I made them too close together, so every time that speed boost came up, which is off of base, it actually would put Shannon ahead of Veramos, right? So eventually it made this gap wider, which is what you don't want. But my heals were more than enough, so it didn't matter. Cool. I hope that anytime from now on someone has an issue with this floor, you can direct them to this video, because this is all you need to understand in order to always beat this floor, right? So if people are having issues with this floor, bookmark this, whatever, tell them to come watch this, and then, it should never be an issue anymore, because I feel like this is a floor that people seem to have issues with every single month on how to beat, and it's really, I just don't think people go about it the right way. It's just understand that it is a gear check floor. You either need better stats or you're just not bringing the right type of units to this, okay? All right, guys, if you liked the video and you want more of this, go ahead and subscribe, follow me, whatever. you know, and if you got more requests for stuff like this type of video, put them in the comments. I love to do videos like this when I have time to do them. Cool. All right, talk to you guys later.